Good evening, MC Clubbers. You are listening to this, hopefully, on Wednesday, the 17th of March. I'm recording this on Tuesday. It is now just after 6 p.m. and we have load shedding. And then I realized, well, I have no light. So it's all on inverter, the computer. So I now have this torch trying to read what I want to say, except it's a very weak torch because the strong, nice torch is with the students in number 10. And they're busy smoking marijuana in their garage, and they have to keep the door down because they make too much noise. And so they have my torch. It's a very long, complicated story, and I'm not enabling them. I'm just so done. And so I will do anything for them to be able to close that garage door. Hence, I'm squinting at the writing here. So, hello. Outing, yay! So our next outing is Saturday, the 27th of March. At Hilton College School. So now this is not down in the valley or down by the bird hide. This is like at the top by the school. It's weather dependent and it's all about scenics. And what they're doing is the magazine is coming out really soon and they're looking for photos for the magazine. So if you want to come along and just take photos and not submit any for them for possible inclusion in the magazine, that's absolutely fine. But hoping every person will have maybe 3 or 4. We submit it, and if the photo goes in the magazine, then you get your name next to the photo. The magazine is going to be mostly photographic, so I'm told. I'm setting it. So they have invited our club to come along and take pictures of the buildings and the sunrise and the trees. And there's no sport going on at the moment, you know. They've got some flowers and aloes in the front, but I think most of them are gone now for winter. But yeah, there should be some lovely things to take photos of. So I know we've just had the macro, but since we're invited, so let's do this. It's weather dependent. So if the 27th doesn't work, then we may have to sort of go after the long weekend. But yeah, there we go. Don't forget masks, hats, sunscreen, water. Okay, thank you. Next. Right, the 19th up-and-coming salon is on its way. It closes on this Saturday. Go to the PSSA website, pssa.co.za/salons. This is for 1 to 3 stars only, so if you've never entered a salon, this is the one to enter. You don't have to pay, so it's free, which is really cool. Go to salon results for the year ending 22. Sorry, I realized I made a mistake there. And then you download the brochure and just read through the categories. The categories, I think, are usually open in nature, wildlife, and you can submit 2 or maybe 3 into each, but go along and have. If you've never entered a salon before and you're a junior, this is the salon to enter. Okay, ask any of the juniors that have risen through the ranks. This is where you get your salons. You get to 3 star and you need 6 before you get to 4. This is where you start. Okay. Playlist. We've got the results monthly competition. We've got anything goes, and then we're going to have a look at the Bloom CC Salon. And I thought we'd have a look at the open color and see what's happening there. Okay. And now my little thingy's gone. Where I want to pause the video. Where is that now? It's just gone. How am I supposed to pause the video? I'm going to have to close this now. Move RV and pause. Hello, sorry about that. I don't know what happened, it just went. Okay, so monthly competition, here we go with my torch. Judges, Leon Hayes from Amber Camera Club, the chairman of Amber Camera Club, was the judge. Leon, thank you so much for your time and enthusiasm, much appreciated. 1 star, nature. Coral sky, 8 silver. Although this image has beautiful strong colors and there is movement from left to right, the subject remains muddled and it lacks a strong point of interest. Yes, I see a bee right in the middle, but it is far too small to make this an effective point of interest. It is a very busy image with too much going on. Cyclops, 12 gold, Diane Backhouse, a nicely photographed crab. The focus and depth of field are great, but the composition could be a bit better. Yes, there's a diagonal line from top left to bottom right, but the crab is very squashed in a box. It's a pity there wasn't more space around the subject so that we can see a bit more of his environment. The horizontal, out of focus black seaweed all along the bottom is a bit distracting and could have been cut away without losing the story. Dragonfly, 10 gold, Diane Backhouse. For a one-star worker, this is a great attempt. The background is uncluttered, which makes the dragonfly stand out beautifully. There are some issues though. The red border is far too overpowering. Borders must always complement but not dominate. In nature and wildlife, only use a border where it is absolutely necessary. There is great definition between image and black-grey tabletop, so a border was not really necessary. The focus is on the back of the subject instead of on the head and eyes. Still a great attempt. Okay, so when I'm recording my screen, I try and take the border as far to the edge as possible. So sometimes the border on these is sort of cut off. So sorry, Diane, in this case. Embarking on a journey, 7 silver. Embarking on a journey, I don't get it, sorry. Maybe this image should be in a category that is more geared towards creativity. The focus area is not strong enough to make the image pop. The bright areas are very bright and the leaves all have blue and purple fringing evident. The composition is strong. Peacock feather, Cornet apple, 13 merit. This is a great example that even in a busy image, most times there is still an opportunity for a strong focal point. There are lots of eyes visible. There is only one that is complete and in focus and placed beautifully on the strongest part of image, the thirds. Well done, beautiful image and beautifully sharp too, as well as being cleverly constructed. Well done, Cornet. The Old Boy, 12 gold, Tom LeBeau. In this instance, the tight crop works well, so as to show all the battle scars that might normally go unseen. Although the colours are strong and true, the contrast is a touch high, making some of the dark areas a bit too dark. I did play and found that making the contrast less intense, it did lighten up some of the dark areas. Focus on the whole face is acceptable. Would have done well in wildlife. The Queen, 12 gold, Tom LeBeau. Beautiful portrait of the lioness. I'm just a bit confused why it has been submitted in nature. This is a true wildlife image. It has no human element in it and would fit well there. The lion stare is intense, so a tiny bit more space on the left would have been beneficial. The bright coloured bands above the head are a bit distracting. The Young Contender, 13 merit, Tom LeBeau. Sure, Tom, raking in the gold merit here. This composition is 100%. The animal needs space to move into and there is plenty here. In this instance, the nature category is correct because of the man-made road. If the lion was looking up and outward, this image would have scored even higher. Ooh. Look at that paw moving forward. So well done, Tom. Open. Cupcake, 11 gold, Connell 80. Nice subject matter and really nicely executed. The O is beautifully in focus, thus drawing the eye in. There is nice movement in the image that is created by the swirl of icing. The border is possibly a bit bright. Oh, let me move my mouse. Try toning it down to a medium grey. That looks yummy. Scapes. Cape Seashore, 8 silver. You've done well by using a 2/3 and 1/3 composition with the horizontal line optimally placed. Sadly, you have committed the cardinal sin in any water photography. The water is running downhill to the right because the horizon line is not level. The image is also oversaturated and the big black rock on the right has no detail, making it a big black blob. The white border is also very jarring. Try a neutral mid-grey border instead. Misty Trees, 12 gold, Connell 80. Beautiful mood here. The subject matter is very simple, but that is not a problem because the elements are beautifully placed in the frame. Great composition. Plain and simple is sometimes a very good thing. There's quite a lot of digital noise in the image, but it is still a great image. Well done. Wildlife. Hardy. 12 gold, Diane Backhouse. A great attempt at this image. Although the shutter speed is relatively low for bird photography, you have done well to freeze the action and to get a good result with focusing. Showing the bird doing something is also a good thing. It is good to see the beautiful colors on this bird that most people choose to overlook. In the wild, it is extremely difficult to compose creatively, but that will come with time. Love the bokeh in the background. Two-star. Wildlife. Looking so sad. 8 silver. Yes, this is a sad story, but at least it is alive. Also, sadly, you've removed almost every ounce of the story of this rhino. The story of the horn is all that remains. Sometimes, an intensely close crop like this does not do the image any favors. I see a strange grey blob on a green background. Try and give your subject more space. Pilansberg elephant, 8 silver. Like the previous image, this image is incredibly tightly cropped. There is no need to move all the story in the image. In fact, adding more space allows the image to speak for itself. An elephant cropped down to its knees just doesn't work for me. If you want to crop closely, choose a facial element and zoom in on that eye or on a tusk. The image is nicely focused. Oh, there's lovely textures in there. Look at those lines. Pumbaa, 12 gold, Mana Rulifsa. This presentation helps to tell the story of the image. The animal's environment is clearly visible and the story of his behavior is also evident. In the bush there are always stray branches, bushes and foliage that get in the way, but you've done well to try and exclude those as much as possible. The focus on the face is perfect and the composition is great. Yeah. Quirky ostrich, 13 merit, Mana Rulifsa. Yes, really quirky and I love it. So often in nature wildlife photography one cannot express any artistic freedom and creativity because of the nature of the genre. Here you have broken those boundaries and gone with something completely unconventional, and it has worked wonderfully. Here the negative space talks to me of the big wide outdoors. The composition in the junction of the thirds on the right is superb. The fact that the bird is leaning towards the smaller side is indeed unconventional and not often seen, but it is a breath of fresh air. The whole image is a bit overbright and toning it down slightly does work wonders. Well done. Leon, you're giving me lots of words to say here and stumble over. Zebrafowl, 10 gold, fowl, 10 gold, Mana Rulifsa. A very sweet representation of this little zebra. Sadly, it is not quite sharp. The head is placed beautifully in the frame and the general composition is good. The only thing that bugs the eyes is the fact that the horizon goes through the animal's head. That is not ideal, so if you could have, in uppercase, moving your vantage slightly up or down would have been a great idea. Zebra Scuffle, 7 silver. As presented, this looks like a crop off a bigger image and therefore your focus has suffered. It also appears as though you have tried to brighten the image, but it has not worked well. Yes, I do see the dust, but there are also halos around the subjects from over-processing it. Nice interaction between the zebras though. Three-star, nature. Here, notice in the felt, 7 silver. The light is very bright and at 1300 hours 02 minutes, the light in winter is directly overhead. This is called bright spots and caused the background to be very visible and overpowering. Using F8 as you have done has made the detail in the background more visible, which has not benefited this image. Open. Black cat. 12 gold Weasel Cupidthwaite. Such an endearing image. It's a bit odd but still very engaging. You did well with the mono rendition. It eliminates any viewer preference to specific colours and draws the eye into the lines and shapes. It would have been great if there was a tiny bit more space below the cat, and also if the cat was not placed so centrally. The lines are so strong that you draw the eye to the cat, so placing it anywhere in the frame would have been good, but by placing the cat on the thirds it would have created the most impact. Fallen leaves on concrete table, 7 silver. Lots of beautiful colours and the story is evident, but it is a very busy image that lacks a real focal point. Many gloves make light, 7 silver. This is an intriguing and interesting image. It makes you look a bit closer because of the dark colours and the lack of light in the image. You have done well with the rendition of the bright lights, but a lot of the image is just too dark. Only once I lightened the image could I see the black gloves in the foreground. The story of the image is also a bit vague to me. Oh, this torch is heavy. My arm is getting sore. Raindrops on leaf, 9 silver. Kudos for getting the middle drop of water in focus. This is not an easy subject, and this image has the makings of a much better image than what has been presented here. The bottom 50% of the image adds no value to the final product. A severe crop to highlight the drops only does the image a world of good. It would also be good to tone down the brightness too. Wildlife. Catching the Light, 10 gold, Gustav de Wet. Nice to hear from you, Gustav. Nicely composed image and well done with the overall image because it's a very difficult image to capture. The light is bright in places and the background is busy, but overall it is a pleasing result. Oh, I like that. Where are we? Ostrich Heron, 10 gold, Gustav de Wet. I'm a bit lost about the title, but that does not affect the overall remarks and score. The focus is good and the nice warm colours are pleasing. The poor bird just needs more space around it because as presented it's a bit tightly cropped. The bird's pose is a bit awkward and it looks like you caught him in an uncompromising position. The focus is good but the whites are a bit bright. I think he's kind of all fluffed up at the back, so it looks like what the ostrich does when they do their dance. So I'm just guessing about the caption there. All-Star. Action and sport. Surfer, 9 silver. Really nice action caught here. The detail in the water is beautiful, but the surfer is far too dark with almost all detail lost. I suspect that the whole image was darkened to get the most from the water texture, but this has jeopardized the quality of the image all round. It has also oversaturated the colors. Open. Antique Rose, 10 gold, Tracy Rhodes. This image also has potential to be much better if just presented differently. Yes, I agree, negative space can be a good thing, but in this image, I don't think that it has played its part to portray space and size. Thus said, I think a strong crop on the right will add value. The light on the central flower is very strong. Just toning the highlights down somewhat helps to bring out the colors and contrast. Colors and textures. Sorry. Between a Rock, 10 gold, Paul Nordea. Nice composition with clear movement visible in the composition as well as the subject. You have the makings of a great image here, but the blue water is a bit off-putting. By adjusting the color balance, you could have brought more warmth to the image. By lightening the whole image, you could have brought out more detail all over, and then by toning down the bright areas, you could also have brought more detail and texture to the water. Bowing to the End, 8 silver. Interesting repeating patterns, but the image lacks impact. The group of pleasing grasses competes strongly for attention with the horizontal branch in the background. The whole image appears to be leaning to the left, and that messes with the mind, considering that water doesn't flow downhill. Bud, 12 gold, Heidi Taylor. The opposite colours are beautiful together and very harmonious. The extreme shallow depth of field is a good choice for this style of image. Not too grooved about the slight crop at the top. Grooved, Leon. As always, either don't crop or crop with purpose so that it does not look like a mistake. Could have done with a tiny bit more space all the way around. Yeah, grooved. I'm going to use that from now on. Ooh, it's unusual. Floating in the deep. 13 Merit, Nola Mary. I haven't seen the photos or the comments. It's all new to me. Opposite colours always work well together. This is a classic example. The composition is spot on. The daisy is floating and is bound to sink, so having space for that to happen is good storytelling. The waterline on the thirds could not have been better. For a playful image, this playful yellow border is appropriate. Would have just liked to see a tiny bit more space on either side of the flower. Great image, well done. Sure, that's unusual. I can only wait to put these images on Facebook. Ooh, that's nice. Harley in the City, 13 Merit, Eric Bosman. Great storytelling here. It could have just been a picture of a bike, but by including people on the right, you have completed the story, but also left a bit of intrigue. Yes, it is possibly a bit busy, but the strength of a main subject does help to overcome that. By toning down the slightly bright patch of foliage in front of the bike, the eye is not drawn there, but more to the bike. Great image. In a Rush, 11 gold, Paul Naudé. Compared to the previous water flowing image, this one has a better colour balance and more detail is visible, although by lightening it slightly, it could be even better. If you do that, be careful to only brighten the dark areas and not the water. Also, when lightening the dark, make sure you don't make the digital noise more visible, which is actually quite minimal in this image. Misty Line, 14 Merit, Avril Janssen. This is a wow image. The impact when setting eyes on it is just amazing. The mono conversion is absolutely the correct thing for this image. The mood created by the mono presentation sends chills up my spine. I also love the slight bend to the left in the trees. It tells the story of a windblown and quite harsh environment. The contrasts are high, and that might not be for everyone's taste, but it does suit the style of the image. Just stunning. Well done, Avril. Leon's clearly grooving that image. Ready to Bloom, 9 Silver. The light of this image is beautiful, and I like the juxtaposition between the lights and darks. The image somehow doesn't wow me. In the dark areas there's quite a lot of digital noise and the composition is a bit off. Firstly, I can't see the edge of the image, so it needs a faint border, and the flower just doesn't gel with the background. When I place the image on a medium grey background, it's a different image altogether. The image is called Ready to Bloom, and this is just not what I see. Difficult to assess because I want to like it, but it just missed the mark slightly. Sorry. Standing Tall, 10 gold, Eric Bosman. Ah, that's a beautiful building, hey? Interesting building with strong lines. The sky behind is also beautiful. Pity that the main subject is so centrally placed. That spoils the image. There's some leaning, and that is to be expected, but it's only just leaning, which makes it look like a mistake. Best you use the perspective tool or rotate it and get it straight, or make an abstract image from this and make it look like it's leaning on purpose. Only just has spoiled this image. Right. Photo art, creative. Ooh. Weird Water, 11 gold, Heidi Taylor. In an art category like this, more emphasis is placed on line, color, and texture. Although this is the case, the image still has to tell a story using traditional photographic elements. Although this image does what the packet says, I feel it could still do with a strong focal point, although it does have a strong composition. This is more a matter of personal preference rather than a photographic flaw. Still a very peaceful image. Portrait, Egyptian Bride, 9 Silver. Photographically, this image is adequate. The composition is not jarring and the focus is spot on, but unfortunately the creativity is very average. A lot more could have been done to portray this beautiful lady with a bit more flair and creativity. The placing of the hands just appears very awkward. Having the background and shadows on it visible is not the best option. Scapes. Balgowan Falls, 12 gold, Avril Janssen. The 10-section exposure on this image could have been a disaster because of the whites in the water could possibly be blown out. Here you have managed to curtail that problem and have managed on the bright areas in post-processing. Worked on the bright areas in post-processing. There is a lot of texture in the image and it looks like an HDR image, but it does juxtapose nicely with the soft water. Saturation, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. In the Midlands, 12 gold, Avril Janssen. The meandering river leads one's eyes nicely to the Granny Mouse Hotel. The composition is textbook quality, but there's something not good with the colour in the sky. I'm not sure if that was natural or if it had been enhanced, but I would suggest a little bit of a tone down in the saturation there, or crop away completely. Lightning strikes at Griep Dam, 9 silver. Not an easy subject because one never really knows where the lightning will appear. This makes planning the foreground almost impossible. The lightning has magic, but there's been a trade-off with the quality of foreground. I think it could have been improved by cropping away the strong straight horizontal line of the road, but sadly the lack of a strong foreground element remains a problem. Orange Moon Rising, 7 silver. There's a magic image here just waiting to be exposed, but sadly the way this image has been presented does not bring out the best in this image. There are halos around almost all the branches, which is a sign of being overworked. I also think it is presented way too light. A dark image with more contrast would have made this orange ball pop. The crop on all the trees has not done the image any favours either. Star, action and sport. Up and over the boundary, 11 gold. The clarity of this, Des van Tonder, me. The clarity of this image is beautiful and the action is wonderful. Unfortunately, the title and the subject are a bit unrelated. Yes, we assume that the ball has been hit up and over the boundary, but that is not evident in the image. Having the ball visible is always an advantage in any ball sport. Leon, you owe me a coffee for that comment. Nature. Ooh. Pelican Play, 12 gold, Bertie Price. Beautiful action caught here. The water drops are just superb, and although the subject matter is very appealing, I would like to point out some issues. The ISO over 1000 has resulted in quite a lot of noise in the background, and also contributed to the brightness on the upper half of the bird. I would also have liked to see more space around the bird. The crop is a bit tight. Open. Bobbing Dabchick, 7 silver. This looks a severe crop of a larger image, which is not wrong, but it has left the whole image out of focus. Being so centrally placed is also not the best choice. The light is also very flat. Water Drop Reflections, Mono, 13 merit, Bertie Price. This is a very interesting variation on an old theme. It is really so striking and really a wow image. Here the lacquer border plays in its favour and the apparent thirds composition is really strong. I would easily put this on my wall. Great image. Waterfall in the Country, Art, 9 silver. This is a pretty scene and the depiction of the water has been well done. At first glance I didn't even spot the texture has been added. Considering that this is the essence of the image, it's not really strong enough to make it into an art image. Interesting that it has not been submitted into the photo art and creative category. I just feel that it's a bit too oversaturated and the water is a bit bright. But toning down the brightness of the water, more texture becomes evident. I really like that. It looks like an oil painting. Where are we? Welcome 2021. Nan Silver. You've been very lucky to have caught this lightning. Pity that you have not paid too much attention to the rest of the composition. The whole foreground of the image does not add value, and there's no real foreground interest to draw the eye in. The horizontal fence does exactly the opposite. Yellow-fronted canary bath time, 12 gold, Ronald van den Heever. Many photographers have tried this subject matter and very few succeed. The success is probably the 3200 second shutter speed. The eye and most of the feathers are pin sharp, but there's just enough movement to tell the story. While the background is probably a bit busy, and it's a pity the second bird is decapitated. Portrait. Ground hornbill pose, 13 merit, Ronald van den Heever. Not the easiest portrait subjects because of their long beaks. Often the beak or the eye is in focus, but seldom both. Here the eye is perfectly in focus and the beak is slightly out, but this can be expected, especially with longish lenses. The background is nicely handled and the colors are beautiful. Kingfisher pose, 13 merit, Dennis van Tonder. Beautifully presented image that shows the bird off to its best. The focus is great and the colors are beautiful. It's a very strongly static image and it would have been nice to see another element, something like a lizard in its mouth. For the portrait category, it is perfectly adequate. I would love to get one of these with a lizard in its mouth. That would be groovy. New Beginnings, 14 merit, Roger Fanner. What a beautiful representation of a very modern theme. You have captured the tenderness of the couple and the obvious love for the bubble. The light applied to this couple is absolutely beautiful. I played with this image and toned down the contrast slightly and it still works well. Great image, well done. Ooh, ominous, 8 silver. An interesting concept for a portrait. I'm not sure that it really works well because there is no body part, the essence of a portrait, that is the main subject here. Even the hands are not the main theme, and too obscure to be deemed a portrait subject. Sadly, there is quite a lot of noise in this image. I would have liked to see the color version of this image. Scapes. Storm Clouds, 10 gold, Des van Tonder. I understand why this image has been presented in mono because the sky is very dramatic. This has been done to the detriment of the land elements. The crop on the bottom is very close, and that combined with extreme detail in the clouds has made this image very abstract and almost a bit difficult to read. There are also halos around the meeting line between land and sky, a sign of overworking. Yeah, I do tend to do that with clouds. Wildlife. Curiosity, 14 merit, Maxi Holder. This is wow. In almost every way this image has been a success and very successfully captured. The only comment I have is that the image has a bit of cold tint to it. Adding a slight yellow-orange or warm filter would have added value. Little Brown Hooded, 12 gold, Ronald van den Heever. Good capture and nicely composed and focused. Giving the bird space on the left is a great idea. Such a pity that you are looking up at the bird. I know that these things cannot be planned, but the subject at eye level would have been first prize. Robber Flower, 12 gold, Rob Hart. A great macro shot. The light is all even and the details all sharp enough. Shooting this flower side on is the best possible thing to do in macro because of the extreme shallow depth of field. The composition could have been a bit more imaginative, but all over a good attempt. Where am I now? Oh, Robber Flower, another one, with the number 4269, 10 gold, Rob Hart. The colours are very strong here, perhaps too strong. Side on is great for the style of image, but unfortunately the light on the flower is very strong, causing patchy, bright and dark spots. All the hairs are very bright and it also creates an out of focus effect. Great composition. Stout flower, 11 gold, Rob Hart. Nice composition here and the colours are great. Here the light doesn't seem so bright and the light and dark spots are far less. The perch that the flower is sitting on, although interesting, is a bit dominant in the frame. Oh, that's it. I was about to turn the page. And the junior winner, wait, I've got to find my page. Torch down. Right, torch up. Peacock feather, Kone Apple. Well done, Kone. Beautiful image. Senior image, winner. Wait, I've got to get to it. I'm paging. Paging. There it is. Torch. New beginnings, Roger Fanner. Well done, Roger. And what this means is, Bespoke Canvas, we congratulate Roger and Corne, who will receive an A5 canvas as junior and senior monthly winners. Please visit bespokecanvas.co.za. So I will get your images to them tomorrow, and then I'll let you know like early next week, and I will deliver your canvases to you, Roger and Corne. Very well done. Okay, so we're on to Anything Goes. Oh, now I can't see my page down. I need my torch again. There we go. Okay. Back center, Connell. Oh, that's very interesting. Digital panorama, Connell. It's going to move. I hope I don't make a noise. I'm going to move the microphone. It's in the way. Driftwood, Diane. Flame Lily, Diane. Misty Trees, Connell. Spider, yeah, Diane. Such a pity about that bright stripe in the front, eh? A lovely focus on the body. Look at that body, it looks so big. Hippo Fight, Mona. Two donkeys going for a drink, Jake. Oh gosh. A patch of contrast, Paul. Paul, I love this. I love this. Those hills and curves, and I'm sure you could just take a little bit of body, just, yeah, there's a little bit there, and then add some contrast there, and that to me is a brilliant image. Where are we now? Between the Roads, Paul. Buckler Street Theatre, Eric. Okay, he's just insane. Wow. Coloured Wave, Heidi. There's white horses galloping there. Harbour Hole, Eric. Eric, you're just boasting now because you stay by the coast. Midmar, Paul. Gosh, it's been so nice to see all that water coming over. I don't know what it's doing right now, but it's supposed to rain tonight and tomorrow, so maybe it's still coming over. Eric's Yacht. No, it's actually called Rich Man's Transport. So Eric so far has got a Harley and a yacht. I think we must go and visit Eric. Colour in the green, Renelle. Those things are just disgusting. Dessert, Des. Dewdrops, Des. Feeding here is an uphill battle, Maxi. 4GT, 4GT40, Bertie. I see 60. There's 40 engine, something, 40 horsepower. I'm going to stop talking now. Load shedding cheer, Maxi. Certainly is. That's a nice reflection. Side by side, Bertie. SP18, Bertie. Spoonbill with frog legs. Thick-billed weaver nursery, Brunel. The end. Okay, here we go. We have Bloomington National Digital Salon Open Color. Scapes Color. Oh, apparently we have Scapes Color. It was called Open Color. Well, let's have a look at some Scapes. Silver medal, so the winner. Reflections. Ooh. Gosh, that's very nice. Revealing the rich tones of winter. That's lovely. Frosty grass. Iceland, gosh. I'm getting into trouble. Ooh, I like that. That's a Paul Nadir photo. I'm not sipping alcohol, I'm sipping water. This is my first attempt, so I'm feeling calm. Oh, I'm inside the loo. Ooh. Wow, that's quite a panorama. Sure. Elise. A fisherman. I rather like that. Wow. Singapore. St. Paul's Cathedral. Oh, that's quite nice. Peaceful. Lovely foreground there. Rotsa Indicia. Oh, Durban. That's so pretty. Thank you, Indie Boss. Very similar to Kenmo, but oh, I like that. Oh, so simple. Wow, there's lights on the fountains. So notice the Very big foregrounds here. Okay, well, let's have a photo that there isn't big foregrounds to prove me wrong. I was going to say, notice all the really large foregrounds in these photos. Our judges seem to like. Ooh, that's super reflections. Wow. Reflections. Spring Valley. That's lovely and simple. Lakeside Autumn Tapestry. That's rather nice. Big foregrounds. There we go. Thank you. Prefer this one. Someday. Misty Morning Paradise. Oh, that looks so frosty and lovely. Bicycle City. It's lovely to see all the different parts of the world. Overberg colours. Love that. Was that canola fields? Correct me if I'm wrong. Reflection. I love that. Dinosaur Pier. It's a lovely angle on wooden pier. Oh, the piers, look at the barnacles. That is lovely. Golden Valley. Data Bridge. All these big foregrounds. I always just do clouds. Oh, I love that. I never know about landscape. I mean, these. It's quite a lot of. That boat and that building is quite big in the frame for landscapes. I know it's so hard. Just had to judge some photos and there was a big ship. And I'm just. This is. I just didn't see it as a landscape. Are we going to get slapped on the wrist by the person? I like that. Waterfall. So many leading lines in these photos as well. Ooh, that looks a bit blurry. Leon Hayes. Leon Hayes. Dinosaurs singing again. Pia. Look at us. There's heat. Would have minded some of that ice. Oh, I like that. But you see, that's like, it's so dominant. The building. I don't know. That's lovely. Gosh. Quite bright. See, and again, it's on the cabins, but this foreground, lovely reflections there. Wow. Winter meets spring. Oh, it's a good caption. There's lovely golden colours. Lovely light there. Oyster box. Oh, I like that. Slightly different. That's really simple and clean. I like that too. Lots of leading lines there. Star Trails. Dibs. I like that fisherman. No. And the red. Ooh, oh, I like that. Minimalism. Or is it? I like that. I look at all that snow and ice with longing. And when winter comes, I'm going to be whining about the cold. Oh, must be drone. That's nice and simple. Ooh. Ooh, I like that. Wow. Foreground. I really like that. Beautiful panel. That you can see so much. It's wonderful. Oh, look. A congregation of what? That's pretty. This is a cityscape, I assume. Cityscapes. Looks like the road at Carcliffe. Oh, quite dominant. Oh, that's different colour, eh? Oh, I like that. Goodness. Auckland at night. Ooh. Oh, I like that. Nola? So you'll love that? Milky Way. And some more Milky Way. Lone surfer and bird. Oh, there's a photographer there on the rocks. Ooh, super reflections there. Wow. Paternoster. Dinosaur Pier. I'm going to call that all the time. Unless that's its actually name. I've never heard it called that. But then I often miss those things. Sun filter. Hide in the morning mist. Oh, I like that. There we go. That was it. That was the last one. So everyone, there we go. Thank you. I thought we were open colour, but we did scapes, and we're still vaguely interested in scapes. So there we go. Thank you very much for listening and watching. And I hope to see you on the 27th of March. I will post times and everything in the week leading up to the 27th, weather dependent. And then we'll go from there if you want to come along. Thank you. Bye bye.